Feature is adding some rhythm to the Brewer Riverwalk. City officials cut the ribbon today, welcoming cool tones on the Riverwalk. The music park features 6 standalone instruments to play with provided mallets or just with your hands. Cool Tones on the Riverwalk is a project Brewer has put forth in efforts to beautify the Riverwalk and to provide more interactive activities for all ages. The music park was made possible by a donation from Doug Farnham, the former owner of Getchell Brothers Ice, the iconic ice company set on the property for decades. Farnham wanted to make sure the cool history remains.
As Getchell Brothers, when we sold the company that had spent more than 75 years along the river producing ice, we wanted to kind of do something to give back to the community that had been such a great host, as well as recognize and remind folks that there were a lot of wonderful people that participated in the ice industry and the ice business, along with the ice harvesting that took place on the river.
Cool Tones on the Riverwalk is expected to receive even more additions as time goes on. Farnham says a bronze relief sculpture should be placed in the music park next summer to further cement the ice industry's presence along the river.